burning up. I'm burning up. But here comes the backstepper. He's... No. It's so funny to just die over and over on these two basic enemies while the melancholic music plays. Oh, man. Bro getting roasted by Teddy Roosevelt. It's crazy that Teddy Roosevelt is like the 4th president on Mount Rushmore. It's no disrespect to Teddy Roosevelt at all. If I was building Mount Rushmore, I would tell him to like leave a space blank, Taylor Swift style. That way, like maybe that would have caught some of the presidents in the post-Teddy era acting right. Because they got something to shoot for. They're like, if I do it right, maybe they'll put my ass on the damn rock. Like imagine Richard Nixon, you know, probably wouldn't have done all that messed up stuff if they were like, oh, there goes your spot on water, or on Mount Rushmore, sir. Sir, think about the mountain. He'd be like, I'm not gonna wiretap them, I guess. They should just start a Mount Rushmore too. The first one went so well. I mean, it's gotta be one of the all-time greatest tourism boons to South Dakota. Fucking dope-ass natural landscapes weren't bringing people in. Guess what? We carved a bunch of old dudes' faces into a rock. Isn't the first one on, like, very significant and important land for the natives? Yes. That's in character, I think, with all the presidents that are on the on the mountain, though. True, true. Oh, so and when I make fun of Thomas Jefferson, everybody claps. Wait a minute, no, that just makes sense now that I think about it. Who's on the Mount Rushmore of podcasting? Joe Rogan? No doubt. That's probably, I mean, that's my guy right there. Leo Laporte, no doubt about it. Remember that time he accidentally showed that nude photo of his wife on stream on this podcast? Oh, man. Abraham Lincoln? That's true. I mean, he won the Civil War. They should put him up there, even if he would rip Abraham Lincoln. You would have loved podcasts. FDR had a podcast. Are you talking about the fireside chats? By the way, going back to sports, I saw someone mention this in chat, but I was thinking the same thing. You imagine how much worse it would be to be a sports fan in like 1930? You know there were motherfuckers who were like listening to baseball that didn't even know what baseball looked like. I don't mean like they didn't know what Babe Ruth's face looked like, but they didn't know what the sport looked like. There had to be at least like 10,000 people that were like, oh, I love baseball. I hope I can like see it in person one day. How do you mean? Well, I mean, like if you grew up in the fucking Bronx or something like that, you probably knew what baseball looked like. But if your ass moved here from Sicily when you were like 47 years old and they were like, hey, check out the Dodgers, you were probably like, I don't know what the fuck's going on out here, man. There's got to be people that were watching. It's not a Germa bit. This is a me original, okay? There's got to be people out there, you know, from back in the day who listened to baseball and didn't know what baseball looked like. They're just like, oh, I like listening to my team win. Good one, Germa. The guy you invented, maybe? Bro, not all Americans know about baseball, okay? The same way not all Americans have had cookies from places that are not sandwich stores.
I'm like, what do you say fuck me for?
People read the Bible and they do not know the face of God? Holy shit. Huge if true. That's a good point. That's deep, man. Bars? We have this book that our daughter loves to read. It's called Pete the Cat and the Family Road Trip. And it's about a nice little family of cats that goes on a road trip throughout America. So they go to New York City, Boston, and stuff like that. They go visit Mount Rushmore, and then my daughter asks me, like who are the guys on the mountain? And I'm like, that's George Washington. He was the first president of the United States. He's remembered fondly for being a general that helped America defeat England in the American Revolution and letting America become an independent country, and then setting the precedent of 2 terms as a limit for presidency by voluntarily resigning and thus shrugging off the yoke of an endless monarchy. She's like, okay, old ass. Then she's like, okay, who's that guy? And I'm like, that's Thomas Jefferson. He really expanded the United States via a variety of different means. And then she's like, okay. And then she's like, who's this guy? And I'm like, that's Abraham Lincoln. He is considered an American hero for being the leader of the Union side that helped win the American Civil War and abolish slavery throughout the whole nation. And she's like, wow, that sounds like a good guy. How about this guy? And I'm like, that's Teddy Roosevelt. He's fucking, he loves parks. I can't talk about all the other shit Teddy Roosevelt did. Wasn't the dude like, every war, Teddy Roosevelt was like, we go again? They were like, you're old, Teddy Roosevelt. Your ass is too old to go to war. And he's like, nah, bro. I got some dudes, I got some horses, we go again. So I'm like, okay. He founded the National Park Service, and he loved to pick up litter or something. That's as good as it gets. He did get shot during his speech and shrug it off. That is pretty badass. He married his cousin, too? Yeah, but he, like, lots of people did back in the day, so I'm not going to hold that against him. I mean, if Charles Darwin married his first cousin, like, I'm not going to insult anybody else in, like, the fucking 1800s for doing it. That was, like, pre the invention of mass transit, bro. You were born in an area, and you met, like, 80 people your whole life, and half of them were your family. Of course people were marrying their first cousins. We should be, like, consider ourselves lucky they weren't marrying their siblings most of the time. Me after I eat British food. Sorry. Oh! You what, mate? Sorry.